The glittering facade of China's entertainment world has cracked open to reveal a darkness few dared to imagine. In an emotional and heartbreaking turn of events, parents of beloved actor and singer Menglong have broken their silence, revealing the identity of the man who killed their son and exposing the sinister forces that lurk beneath the polished surface of the showbiz industry. Their testimony has not only reignited worldwide outrage but also peeled back layers of corruption, exploitation, and betrayal that Yu himself once confessed to his family in late-night conversations filled with exhaustion and despair. Menglong first stepped into the limelight. He embodied the dream every aspiring artist longed for: a handsome face, a soothing voice, and an aura of sincerity that resonated with millions. Adored him for his down-to-earth charm and his relentless drive to perfect his craft. Yet behind the smile that melted hearts, he carried a burden that few understood. His parents now reveal that the burden was not only artistic pressure but also systematic exploitation, enforced by shadowy forces in the Chinese entertainment industry determined to control every aspect of his life. In their tearful press conference, Menglong's father raised his voice with a conviction trembling from grief. "We trusted the people around him. Believed they would care for him as family. But those same people poisoned him, in body and in spirit." The name he uttered, Li Chenhao, was already familiar to investigators. But for the first time the world heard from the family itself. The trusted assistant was not acting alone but was part of a larger machinery designed to break Menglong down when he dared to resist. His mother, her voice cracking with sorrow, added, "Told us everything in the final months. He felt trapped, like a bird with clipped wings. He cried and said, 'Mama, they don't see me as human anymore. Me only as money.'" For years, whispers of a dark underworld in Chinese showbiz circulated like smoke behind closed doors. Artists spoke of brutal contracts, unfair wages, and the silent punishments awaiting those who spoke out. Long himself confided in his parents during brief visits home. He told them how his salary was mysteriously reduced, how entire payments disappeared without explanation. He revealed that when he questioned the deductions, he was threatened with being blacklisted from projects. "Don't obey. You won't work again," he was told by men who controlled casting, funding, and distribution. His parents recalled the helplessness in his voice as he admitted he was being forced to perform even when sick. His body weakened by exhaustion, his mind weighed down by anxiety. Exploitation was systemic. According to Menglong's father, he once begged to take a short break after falling ill during rehearsals. Instead of rest, he was ordered to attend back-to-back performances. Contracts signed under duress bound him to grueling schedules. Refusal meant financial penalties that grew larger with each act of defiance. His parents remember him returning home in tears, his hands trembling as he confessed, "They don't care if I collapse on stage. To them, I am nothing but profit." These conversations, kept private until now, paint a devastating picture of a young star caught in the grip of merciless powers. The family's decision to speak out was not only to honor their son's memory but also to ensure that the truth would not die with him. They revealed that Li Chenhao, once portrayed as a loyal aide, was a pawn in a larger scheme. According to evidence presented in court, Li was pressured and incentivized by hidden stakeholders to sabotage Menglong from within. The motive was chillingly simple. Menglong had spoken privately of his desire to escape his contract, to expose the exploitation he endured, and to reclaim his freedom. The shadowy forces that managed his career could not allow such defiance to be made public. They chose instead to silence him, turning the man closest to him into the instrument of destruction. Forensic analysis confirmed that Menglong's body contained escalating levels of stimulants, introduced gradually to mimic the appearance of natural decline. What puzzled fans for months, his sudden lapses of memory, erratic behavior, and strange paranoia, were in fact symptoms of chemical sabotage. His parents recalled the desperation in his voice as he confided that he felt out of control, that his mind was slipping away. He couldn't explain why. His father, holding back tears during the interview, said, "Now we know why he felt that way. He wasn't just tired. He was being drugged." Betrayal cut even deeper because Menglong often defended Li in front of others. He told his family that while the industry executives were cruel, at least Li was by his side. He never imagined the man handing him water before performances was lacing it with substances meant to destroy him. Mother sobbed as she recounted this detail, saying, "He trusted the wrong person. But how could he have known? They placed a traitor beside him. As these revelations spread, the narrative of Yu Menglong's life transformed from a story of stardom cut short to a chilling cautionary tale about the cost of speaking against powerful interests. Fans worldwide erupted in grief and anger. Social media was flooded with hashtags demanding justice. Vigils were held in cities across Asia. Murals appeared in urban centers as a symbol of solidarity. Yet at the center of the storm stood his parents, who carried both the unbearable weight of loss and the responsibility of exposing a system that had taken their son's life. Their voices, trembling with emotion but strong with resolve, brought the hidden world of showbiz corruption into the light. Spoke of the nights he called them from hotel rooms, whispering that he wanted to run away but didn't know where to go. They revealed his guilt at disappointing fans, his fear of becoming irrelevant, and his despair at being treated like a disposable commodity. He told his parents he felt like a prisoner, bound not by walls but by contracts, cameras, and an invisible network of men who controlled his fate. In those final months, Yu Menglong's struggle was not just against an external enemy but against his own collapsing spirit. His parents remember him staring blankly at the floor during dinners, eating little, speaking even less. Decided that he had thought of leaving everything behind, vanishing from the industry. But each time he considered it, threats reminded him that leaving would cost him everything, including his safety. "They will ruin me," he told his father. "Will ruin all of us if I speak." Those words now echo like a prophecy fulfilled, as the dark truth has finally been revealed. What his parents brought to the surface is not simply the identity of his killer, but the systemic cruelty that allowed such a crime to be conceived. They exposed an environment where artists are commodities, where disobedience invites retaliation, and where even death can be engineered to appear natural. Courage in speaking out has torn through the glamorous illusion of show business, showing the world its underbelly of manipulation, fear, and greed. The storm that followed Yu Menglong's parents' revelations has swept across the nation and beyond, turning private grief into public reckoning. Gan as the heartbreaking confession of a family now stands as one of the darkest scandals in the history of Chinese show business. The question is no longer whether Yu was killed by betrayal, but how deep the conspiracy ran, and what it says about an industry built on both dreams and nightmares. Proceedings against Li Chenhao revealed more than a simple act of murder. Prosecutors presented a web of text messages, secret payments, and encrypted communications that pointed to powerful hands manipulating events behind the curtain. While Li sat in the courtroom as the man who delivered the poison, investigators made clear that he did not act in isolation. Bank accounts reflected sudden, unexplained deposits. His travel record showed late-night meetings with shadowy figures linked to entertainment syndicates. The picture emerging was one of systemic sabotage, a calculated effort to erase Yu Menglong, not just as an individual but as a threat to an empire. The courtroom became a theater of grief and confrontation when Yu's parents took the stand. His mother, clutching a photograph of her son, pressed the judge through tears. She recalled the nights when he came home, his eyes sunken, voice trembling with fear. "He told us, Mama, stealing from me. They take my wages, force me on stage even when I can't breathe. If I protest, they threaten to bury me." He was exaggerating, but now we know it was real. The silence in the courtroom was heavy, broken only by the sobs of fans who had gathered to hear every word. His father spoke with a fury born of grief. He warned us there were people more powerful than we could imagine. He told us, "If I speak out, they'll destroy me. Now our boy is gone. We demand the truth. Who gave the order? Who funded the poison that killed him?" Forensic experts confirmed what the parents already feared: Menglong's decline was not natural. The drugs had been carefully administered in incremental doses, ensuring that symptoms appeared as stress and fatigue rather than foul play. Reports showed that Li had altered the amounts week by week, putting Yu in a state of disorientation. To the public, he seemed overworked, another victim of the relentless pace of celebrity life. In truth, he was being dismantled from within, his sanity stolen piece by piece. The strategy was so precise that even medical professionals initially failed to suspect deliberate poisoning. Only after his death, toxicology revealed the staggering levels of stimulants, did the puzzle begin to make sense. The damning moment of the trial came when prosecutors read from Li's own notebook. Scrawled entries described the increasing dosages, observations of Yu's mental collapse, and chilling satisfaction at his downfall. One entry read, "He forgot his lines again. Perfect." The audience sees him as unstable. Another said, "Tried last night. The drugs are working." Gasps filled the courtroom as these words were read aloud. One a knife twisting deeper into the hearts of his parents and fans. The betrayal was complete. A trusted turned tormentor. His actions encouraged and financed by faceless powers. As these revelations hit the press, the world erupted. Vigils transformed into protests. In Beijing, thousands gathered outside broadcasting headquarters, chanting, "Justice for Menglong." In Seoul, Tokyo, Los Angeles, and Paris, fans lit candles and sang Hu songs in unison. Hashtags surged across platforms, "Justice for Menglong." "Expose the darkness, parents speak out." Death had transcended borders, becoming a global symbol of resistance against exploitation. Celebrities across Asia spoke out, warning that if Menglong could be destroyed this way, them were safe. Documentaries began airing, tracing the patterns of abuse within the entertainment industry. Former stars gave anonymous testimonies about withheld wages, forced performances, and threats to their families if they resisted. Menglong's tragedy had unleashed a torrent of hidden voices, all echoing the same warning: fame in China's entertainment world came at a price. And sometimes that price was life itself. Others called it a cultural turning point, a moment when the glossy image of celebrity cracked to reveal the ruthless machinery beneath. Yu's parents became reluctant but powerful figures in this movement. Though shattered by loss, he vowed to carry his voice into the world. In one emotional interview, father declared, "If my son died to expose this darkness, then we will not let his death be in vain. We will not stop until every name, every face behind this conspiracy is revealed." His mother added softly, "Told us he wanted to sing freely, to act without chains. That was his dream. We will fight so that dream belongs to others. If he cannot see it." International pressure mounted as foreign governments raised questions about labor abuses in Chinese entertainment. Rights organizations called for investigations. Fans organized petitions demanding reforms. Rage was not only about one man's death but about an entire system that allowed exploitation to thrive unchecked. Newspapers called it China's Hollywood scandal, while others labeled it the death that exposed an industry. The trial concluded with Lee Chen-heo receiving a life sentence without parole. But for many, it was not enough. Inside the courthouse, thousands chanted, "Who ordered it?" They knew the man in prison was only the visible hand of a larger monster. Rumors swirled of executives erasing evidence, contracts rewritten overnight, of silent payoffs to bury the truth. Yet the voices demanding justice only grew louder. For Yu's parents, the verdict was bittersweet. They had named their son's killer, but the shadows remained. Still, they drew strength from the millions who rallied behind them. In letters from fans, murals painted on city walls, in songs rewritten as tributes, they saw proof that their son's light had not been extinguished. His legacy now lived in the movement his death had sparked, a movement for transparency, fairness, humanity in an industry too often built on cruelty. The world continues to wrestle with the questions left behind. One truth shines through: Yu Menglong's story is not just about a star betrayed but about a system unmasked. His parents' courage in speaking out has ensured that his voice, once silenced, now echoes louder than ever. The dark truth behind his death has shaken the foundations of show business, forcing fans, officials, alike to confront the hidden forces that destroy lives in the name of profit. And so the story closes with peace but with a demand that still reverberates across borders: justice for Yu Menglong. His name has become a rallying cry. Parents the guardians of his memory, and his life a warning to all who dare to challenge the shadows. As candles burn in cities across the world, one question lingers in the night air: if this could happen to someone like him, how many more stories remain untold? Thank you for joining Red Carpet Revealed as we uncovered a chilling truth behind Yu Menglong's tragic fate. His family's courage, his fans' love, the outrage of millions ensure that his death will never be forgotten, and his light will continue to inspire a fight against the darkness that tried to destroy him.